Hey, what's going on, chumpers? I just made my 2-month-old son an Instagram, and
Hey man, can you get in this TikTok?
What's going on?
Can you get in this TikTok? What can you say in bed that you can also say at the dinner table?
Put that sock on your hand and make it a puppet?
Nobody's fucking said that before. What are you talking about?
I've said it before.
No, you have not.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for the interview. We'll
Okay.
yeah, we'll post
All right.
this.
Yeah, so he has like 13,000 followers. I think we're going to make it pretty big. I also have a TikTok for my grandma. I have a Twitter for my cousins, a Facebook for my brother. I have a Pinterest for my mom, obviously. I have a LinkedIn for my dad. And I have an OnlyFans for the portraits that I draw. Look, I made you. Okay? I took some creative liberties, but notice the J's.
What the hell? Oh my god!
They fucking suck. Everything can be made into content. If you're good enough at cooking, why don't you make an Instagram reel of that recipe? If you're good enough at brainwashing people into taking wildly extremist ideologies, go ahead and buy that blue check mark on X. It's gonna make that money back. If you have nothing good about you, there is always a podcast microphone waiting for you to be heard. And I think, to an extent, that this is a good thing. I think that you should be able to share your ideas, your interests, your hobbies, your passions. But there's a line. And I think that more and more each day I see people starting to cross this line. For example, as we just discussed, family channels are continuing to be a thing. Maybe not as big on YouTube, but certainly on TikTok. And I'm sure if you've been online in the last 5 or 6 years, you've probably heard about the Frankies, which are probably the most net negative outcome of this. Of course, there's a lot more that went into the Frankie story, most specifically religion and cults, but still, there was a broad standpoint of that family dynamic that was heavily dictated by the need for content, pushing the kids to be employees, workers, just in their everyday lives. Another negative outcome of this being something such as the Ace family, where Austin McBroom and his wife, I don't even know her name, I just know Austin McBroom because he's such a character.
Catherine and I have mutually separated.
They announced that they were getting a divorce at the beginning of 2024, and then Austin McBroom spent the next couple of months just posting these crazy Snapchats.
Not the paper, not the paper. Oh, hell no, that's disgusting.
It brought up the age-old question, in an online family divorce, who gets the YouTube channel? It turns out the answer is nobody. They just stopped posting. Kind of sensible, though. However, that doesn't mean that the content stops. Austin has continued to be posting TikToks with his children in them.
Girl, I wish that I could save you, but I can't.
However, the ex-wife is nowhere to be seen on the main Ace family TikTok. So I guess he won it. And of course, these kids have only been content for their entire lives. So they want to be posted. They want to do these dances. They want to partake in social media because they've been doing that for years. But there definitely is a degree of this, which I feel like is a debate I constantly see online, which is, it may not be the best bet to be a wildly famous content creator, influencer, what have you, and posting your children's faces online, and especially having them be the focal point. I mean, realistically, Austin McBroom without the Ace family, does he make it as his own influencer? I don't know. Which again feels like a detriment to making family style content is, if you get a divorce, now what? If your kids don't want to partake in the content, now what? To continue that forth definitely feels coercive, to be like, okay, we just have to stay, in this marriage to keep up the image. What about our image to the kids? What are we going to post today if you're not going to partake in this content, which is a very recurring theme in the Frankie case. I'm sure there is space for family content online. However, knowing the hazards of the internet, it doesn't feel right. And especially when children are involved, because nowadays social media is very much just marketing of a person. Most of the top YouTubers are not just the top YouTubers because their content is so uber gorgeous, amazing, mind-blowing, stunning. More so, they're just good at putting themselves in the right spots and bringing themselves to the right audience and knowing the analytics and bringing things down to a science as opposed to what these things were made for, which was art to a point. Back when all of these social media platforms were emerging, everything came from a place of an almost organic background. Smosh was just two nerdy kids that were just making silly videos that made them and their friends laugh. TikTok was essentially a forum for people to just say shit that was on their mind, do silly stuff, do dances that everybody else was doing. And then all these things come to a point where major brands start to get into the mix and they go, hold on, wait a second. We can make money on this. Wait, we can make so much fucking money, dude. Okay, hold on, bear with me. I have a vision. Charlie D'Amelio. Hold on, Charlie D'Amelio. James Charles. Mr. Beast. Dancing in front of a Kia. Holy shit. Did I just make the ad of the summer? And as these generic brand friendly and, digestible to the audience faces start to reveal themselves, suddenly the algorithm takes a very strong liking to them. All of these things start to become a meta. It's to feed the algorithm. It's targeting certain points, storylines, images, everything, all in the name of getting the biggest number. Now these videos are no longer a piece of the soul or something on the top of your mind or something fun that you do with yourself or with friends, but instead it's like this gross product that is only made for you to consume. From personal experience, this mindset is kind of slowly creeping around the corner and the walls are caving in a bit. As I try to make something that is authentic to myself and something that I truly believe in, that I want you to hear from my mouth saying. It's probably not a proper sentence, but you get the point. I'll give you two little small anecdotes. Very recently, I had received an email from somebody basically saying,
"Hey, listen, I got a deal for you."
I was approached by what I can only assume is probably some 16-year-old who's trying to make a quick buck, saying that they could take all of my streaming content, twitch.tv/JustChump. They want to take all of my Twitch content and work with their group of editors to cut it down into YouTube videos and TikToks and, basically put my face everywhere possible as much as possible. Now, I could very well do that, right? It's something like $250, $350 a month, and then my content will be everywhere on God's green earth, and frankly, it would be a benefit for me. One of the hardest things about putting content out there is making the content, cutting it down, making it digestible, speeding things up and so on. On the flip side, I don't like putting out anything that is not of my standard of quality. Everything I post on TikTok, everything I post on YouTube Shorts, everything I post on YouTube is me editing. I've worked with editors in the past. I've tried to work with editors in the more recent past, and these things just don't seem to work out because it's not mine. And it feels very rewarding to look at a finished product, whether YouTube likes it or TikTok likes it or not, and be like, well, I like the video. And that's about it. Which brings me to my second antidote, my antidote. Which brings me to my second antidote. Recently I posted a video, which was one of my best performing yet, and YouTube sent me a notification saying, hey, you reached 2,000 watch hours total on your YouTube channel. What a great achievement. Keep giving them what they want. Who the fuck is them? There's a non-binary YouTube viewer who's gonna shoot me in the head if I don't give them what they want. It's just stupid. It does not feel like there is much inspiration or much drive to want to post something that you believe in or that you think or that you worked on, because everything is so rewarding to shit that is just like another gross manufactured product. You know what I mean? Most of my YouTube content now is just me driving to work and I have an idea and I go, I can make that into a YouTube video. And then I do it. Or when I stream, I usually go live and just go, I don't have any ideas for today, but I like streaming, so I'm going to do it. And that's it. But YouTube wants you to talk about the biggest thing right now, or they want to talk about the greatest SEO targets, or all this other, stupid bullshit. It's like, hey, what happened to making things that you love? What happened to making things that you have fun with? Having fun making videos with friends? Do you think Mr. Beast is having fun making the 17th iteration of Squid Games with the same group of people for the, 40 millionth time? Or, we put a fucking house on top of a plane, and if somebody stays inside of the house, then they get the plane. We put an island out into the ocean, and if you can eat the island, you get the ocean. We put a bomb under JustChump with a 5-second time. And the thing is, that's rewarded. Repeating the same things that works gets rewarded by YouTube. Well, hey guy, what if I want to make something different? If I want to make a video about the top 10 kinds of farts that the human butt can achieve, brother, I want to make that video. But you can't, because the watch time isn't high enough. And so instead of just being a YouTube channel where you post videos of you and they get packaged into a little thing and they get sent in a tube to somebody else, I think this is how YouTube works. Wait a second, that's not how it works. Oh, I'm stupid. No, you fool! Just kidding, guys. I'm pretty smart. I know that this is the internet, and we can just send these things these days. Straight through the sky. By eagle. No, I'm joking. And let me let you in on a little secret. I may be smarter than the average bear. Maybe even a What the hell? What the fuck? Who turned the lights off?
JustChump,
Jesus.
JustChump, over here, please. JustChump, are you the one who said the sock thing?
Yeah, I said the sock thing. Why? What about it?
Do you care to comment on how the meme has taken the world by storm?
It's going viral? Put that sock on your hand and make it a puppet?
As we waited in the Roman sunshine, we were surprised, like everyone else, as white smoke came pouring out.
Oh boy, this is an unbelievable moment. Did you think you would see an American
Never.
in your lifetime?
No, absolutely not.
Very few did.
What the fuck? Okay, maybe this algorithm shit is lit. Now, all my adoring fans aside, I want to talk to you about my favorite YouTube video ever. The video is called
How to Lose Weight in 4 Easy Steps.
And it was uploaded by the Jash channel 9 years ago. Now, of course, the Jash channel died about 5 years ago, and that's just due to YouTube not really being a powerhouse when it comes to actual creativity. The video, starring Beck Bennett, starts off with some pretty simple steps on how to lose weight.
Step 1. No beer. Every time you drink a beer, it's like eating 7 slices of bread. That's a lot of unnecessary carbs.
However, the video is completely derailed when it gets to step 3, which is
have your heart broken.
This is when we're introduced to Beck's character, who was just broken up with, and essentially talks about him dealing with the day-to-day struggles of getting over this emotional hump. Beck's character uses exercise and dieting and making a bigger puddle to get over this heartbreak, and inevitably ends up meeting another woman at the gym who teaches him how to love again. I think this video speaks to a lot of things. I think it's very beautiful. Mainly, I related to the idea that, self-help and self-improvement is usually something that's, attempted externally when really there's some internal issues that everyone can always be working on. Now, that video, posted 9 years ago, has achieved about 13 million views, which is pretty much what's going to be the maximum of that video. Now, to me, this video has a lot of value. It has a lot of meaning to me. It is a very, very wonderful piece of art that I still go back and watch to this day. However, with the measurement of everything these days being views and the numbers that sit on a video, you should be believing that this video is not even half as good as Brent Rivera's Brent Rivera's hit masterpiece, I exposed 5 of the world's most evil 8-year-olds.
Ben has a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Like magic tricks.
No. He uses booby tricks.
Obsessed with booby traps. Ben is the modern day Kevin McAllister. Tripwires, silly string. I mean, this kid is just really fucking evil.
No, you guys know me. You still love me. I'm the same person. You changed.
I don't think they like you anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, you need to leave.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just got a text from Brent Rivera! Why are they bullying like this 12-year-old girl?
I don't think they like you anymore, unfortunately.
Okay. Oh wait, no, sorry, she's an 8-year-old. The evil 8-year-old, I forgot.
I need you guys to empty your pockets.
Wait, what is that?
Michaela, I didn't put it there, I swear.
Stealing is a crime. I will have to call the cops.
I didn't do it, you have to believe me.
Why would you try to steal from a store? You're obviously getting...
Oh my fucking god, this kid is a criminal. After all, we do know that stealing is a crime.
Stealing is a crime. I will have to call the cops.
Why would you...
It's hard to imagine a world where somebody decides that that video needs to be made, mostly because that world doesn't really exist. The only reason that video exists is to be content. It does not exist for any greater purpose. Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of art has taken that route these days, especially movies and television, kind of just being there to be there. As a society, we've become so dependent on all of our technology, phones, TV, computers, what have you, and now there are people who are trying to profit off of that, and they're not doing a great job. It sounds like every day a new streaming service is $1 billion in debt, but for some reason they're still keeping up the same exact business model. And I'd argue that it's because they keep producing shit. Literal poop from a butt. Hello, Mr. Left Ass Cheek, I'd like to introduce you to Right. You got a little buddy in the middle. It's a polygamous butt poop couple. Okay, that's... Maybe I am the most evil 8-year-old. Brent? You missed a subject. I am the evil 8-year-old. One of the weirdest phenomenons that I've noticed in this trend of making content just to make content is celebrities striking a movie deal with streamers. Specifically, Adam Sandler and his Netflix deal has been one of the most perplexing things I've seen a streamer do thus far. In 2014, Netflix approached Sandler and said, hey, if you make 4 movies with us, we'll give you $250 million. What the fuck? And then in 2020, they brought Adam Sandler back to the table. They said, Adam, your 4 movies, they've done great. Murder Mystery was a hit. Was it? Okay, it wasn't. Well, regardless, we want to sign another deal for $275 million. And the movies are so stupid. I mean, listen to these names, okay? Hustle, a movie about Adam Sandler being the best basketball coach ever. You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah, which was just a way for Adam Sandler to get his daughters into movies. Hubie Halloween. Do you remember Hubie Halloween? I mean, seriously. This movie is so fucking stupid. Everybody who worked on this movie has to be the biggest What the fuck? Oh my god. I was in Hubie Halloween. They must have heard about the sock meme. Heard it's been doing numbers these days, so they had to get some pretty elite talent in there. Regardless of me being a completely corrupt piece of shit as a part of the problem, I still cannot understand why things like this exist, why there's a deal just to simply make the movies. And $250 million is no small feat, and this is not the only project like this that Netflix is doing. I've been noticing a lot of Vince Vaughn on there as of late, and I'm kind of under the belief that it's going to be the same thing or already is the same thing. And under the same idea, I really am not totally in on the new Marvel movie. And I'm not really a fan of the Star Wars shows that keep coming out and they just keep adding big names because they can afford to. Realistically, I just don't see how anyone is watching these movies and going, well, the writers of this were clearly trying to tell a greater story of society. I think they've told that story. I think Marvel should have closed their door on the MCU when Endgame and Infinity War came out. I'd probably prefer if Star Wars kept within their trilogy model that was kind of their whole thing that made them famous. But it's very obvious that production companies are not footing the bill for projects that they don't see as instant hits. Instead, it's just cranking out the fucking slot machine, you know what I mean? Put Robert Downey Jr. in a meat grinder and just see what comes out. And it feels very similar to what major brands and marketing companies do to new social media stars who are thrust out onto the scene. AJ and Big Justice are just a happy father-son duo who are making silly videos in Costco, and then suddenly they're like the face of Pringles. What the fuck are you talking about? Why are they doing the Today Show? Just let them do the TikToks. Let them keep doing the TikToks. Why is the Rizzler at the Knicks halftime show? Why is the Rizzler...
Let's go, Riz! Let's go! Let's go!
Hawk Tua. And I wasn't even making a reference to Haley Welch. I just like making that sound. Spit on that thing.
Spit on that thing.
Spit on that thing. These are just 3 of the most recent memories, but there's plenty of people. Alex from Target. Oh my god, the kid was on Ellen. Social media takes these people that are, for some reason, gaining a lot of popularity, and then just crunches them down to a fine dust. And it like, is so painful to see. Because they are real people. But when the name of the game is branding, it's commodity, it's marketing, no longer are we meant to even care for these people's long-term success. It's like, this is what's funny in the moment, this is what's happening, and, you know, at some point it's going to fade into irrelevancy, and that's that. And I feel like it's going to be the same with a lot of these movies that are coming out. Fucking the new Avengers or Thunderbolts or whatever it is. It's like, yeah, we made it because we had to make something, and 10 years from now we're not going to remember this. And instead of traditional art being allowed to be art, instead it's now manufactured and strategized, and all for the purpose of getting to as many eyes as possible. When realistically, if you have a piece of art that you truly believe in and that you support, there should be no worry in the world if that thing gets 1 view, 0 views, 0 views even, because it's supposed to be something that you love and that you care about and you cherish. Do you really think that Adam Sandler is going to be on the deathbed asking for them to turn on Hubie Halloween? No. 50 First Dates would be easily the choice, or Murder Mystery. A lot of what's coming out these days, whether it be YouTube videos or TikToks or movies or TV shows, sometimes feel devoid of a point, and instead just exist to exist and take space in people's attention spans for however long they can hold it. And their goal is simply to get that attention. The concept of 15 minutes of fame is no longer just 15 minutes of fame, because then they have a podcast breaking down that 15 minutes of fame. And Pepsi uses that 15 minutes of fame as a really neat reference to the Gen Z audience. It's like just fucking let shit be, man. But they can't. These people are terrified of risk. They're afraid of discomfort. They're afraid of losing on something. As if art is something that can be won or lost. They're afraid of being experimental and putting something out there that they're not sure if everybody will like, but they know that it means something to them. Instead, the focus is taken off of, what am I saying? What do I need to say? What am I feeling? And instead, it is, how do you feel? What are you thinking? Do you like this? Are they liking me? And that's why it's so beautiful to see authenticity and somebody's true self online, because it is not something that is often taken a risk on. You know what I mean? It's hard to be a people pleaser. I know how to please some people though. Hawk Tua, spit on that thing. Okay. And so to an extent, I get people's want to make something that people like, because realistically it's time and effort, and in, you know, some other cases money, to produce these things. But that's not the point. None of this was ever supposed to be about you. That's the problem. Sit down. Who do you think you are? I don't know. And so I guess what I'm trying to say in all this is, one, I think that if you have something valuable in your life, whether it's family, interests, hobbies, or, fun with your friends, whatever it may be, and you instead decide that you need to make money off these things, you are going to quickly find out that's not the best way to go about life, and it's going to ruin a lot of things. And two, if you make something solely for the purpose of making out with the game, whether it be financial or status or whatever, that stuff is usually going to be poop. From a butt. Hold on. Phone call from my agent. Might be a movie deal. Hello?
Hey kid, I kinda took the liberty of making a crypto scam on your behalf, but it's not working out so well.
Okay.
A lot of people want to sue you, they want your head on a platter, yada yada. Basically what I'm trying to say is our business here is all but done. So...
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a great day. Love ya.
Well, there goes the podcast. Thank you for watching yet another JustChump video. I hope you enjoyed it. This one was a bit more of a ramble, not as much structure. Just kind of dancing around, just some ideas that I've been having. Really sick, twisted shit. Okay. Whoa. If you enjoyed, please feel free to subscribe, like, comment, whatever the hell. If you're new here, thank you for coming along, joining the ride. If you're old here, shrivel up and die. But seriously, I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, after that last video, getting that notification was genuinely like, oh, what the fuck? This is, give them what they want? Give them what they want? This just kind of stuck with me. I figured maybe other people feel the same way. Maybe they don't. Maybe this is my most disliked video ever, and I get death threats and, whatever. Not everybody's perfect. Not everybody's perfect. So if I have an imperfect idea, then maybe it's fucking stupid. Whatever.
Just vote. Just vote. Just vote.
I know I'm gonna be out, so just vote. Because, I don't know, everyone has something against me, so.
Hope that you have a good week. Stay safe. Rock on. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Streaming for too many hours. Damn, I gotta take a shower. Damn, I gotta take a shower. Damn, I gotta take a shower. The shit is slapping like the mountains. Check, full, I'm just steady chowing. Drivers get the buckets out. It's time to get wet like a